Quiet down, zombies. I'm trying to do a video. How's it going, YouTube friends and family? Welcome back to the base. Welcome back to another episode. Clicked on the title card. It's probably because you thought something about what I said was awesome. And I agree. We're going to look at some heavy duty automation that I've been doing in my free time. I'll walk you through a little bit of what's going on. The reason I don't do all of this stuff necessarily. Nope, that's not coal. Do I have any coal blocks? Hold on. Let's turn that off. Do I have any coal blocks? I don't always do charcoal blocks. Let's grab those dudes and chuck them out here to these people. First, I gotta turn my stupid magnet off. Get out of here, magnet. Nobody likes you. All right. Boom. Run away. Watch out, doggy. Trying to hook all these guys up. Okay, they're all going. Nice. We're trying to fill this mana pool up. Anyways, I don't always do all the stuff live stream because it can be a little bit difficult to talk about all the things that I want to talk about. And hang on just a second. Yeah, it can be difficult to do all the things I want to do and talk about them in the right order. So I've built a whole crap ton of automation. One thing you're going to notice right away, this thing is off for now. We're still on that grind, right? We're at 559,000 of 25.2 million oak logs. We're going to let this thing run for a little while here in a little bit. In fact, now, Enderman. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on now that I'm thinking about it. It's going to take a minute to clear up all that crap. We basically ran ourselves out of source in some of these jars. Like this guy down here, completely empty. This guy is so... these dudes, look at them. They're just so happy. They get so... they produce so much stuff. It's kind of mind-blowing. I mean, I know I have a bunch of these jars, but they actually produce a lot. Let's see, what are those things called? Blaze. Almost 1,000 blaze rods. Very cool. Anyways, they produce a lot. Wither skulls, I get a ton of. Experience orbs, I get a ton of. It's just really lucrative. I don't think this guy here is actually producing anything. Really unlucky because I don't know. There may be a way to get him out of the jar. I haven't actually checked, but I don't think he's actually doing anything at all. But we're gonna let these guys fill back up with source. So I'll let that run for a minute. We're also rebounding from power, and if you're gonna notice anything about this area, it's hugely different. I set up another. Oh, there's a lot more drawers too. I set up another one of these crafting monitor setups because I had this guy up here and I kept finding myself running upstairs all the time to use it, but like that was the only reason. There's no reason to be up here anymore. And so I kept running up here and doing stuff, and I was like, well, that's dumb. So why don't you just make another set and put them down here? And in actuality, I'm going to make another set and put them down in the sub basement. So what has changed since the last time? Let's go down to the downstairs. I'll show you this guy. So this is pretty cool. This is a push button wither killer. So if you were here before, you'll remember that guy down there is called a... Am I out of mana again? I guess that's the only downside to this setup is... Oh no, there's some in there. Okay, so the Bellthorn should be... Okay, it's still got particle effects. So that should be good. The Bellthorn should be fine. I thought I was out of mana again. I don't know if it just needs activation or if it actually shuts off or what. So we'll keep an eye on it. If the withers stop dying, we know there's a problem. That's basically the way we look at this particular deal. Anyways, I guess I should take it down here and show you this too. So down here, we have ourselves a wither builder. And the wither builder does exactly what it sounds like it does. It has wither skulls, it has soul sand, it has power, it has progression. And this progression's on a redstone pulse. And then as you can see, we have an exporter. This is actually bringing things out of the system and putting them into the wither builder. That always screwed me up with refined storage, because the exporter brings things out of the system and the importer brings things in. And I always thought, well, you're importing into the... Anyways, I got it wrong every time. Then we have ourselves a little flux point down here that will deliver power. So we've given ourselves the ability to do push button wither creation, which I will demonstrate for you now. So we got a little redstone action, very little. Oh, by the way, this is source stone, and then you can get a warp scroll. And I got a warp scroll from Ars Nouveau. I went into this chamber that's above the Bellthorn flower. I went into this chamber one block up and set the position for the warp scroll. So I said, I want this warp field right here, this warper, teleporter, whatever it is, to go to an area that's one block above the center of this place. So we'll show you. When I click this button on a pulse, boom, wither, boom. Okay, what happened is when the wither, he's going to explode, and there's no way to stop it from taking some damage. It's weird to me. Anyways, the wither will spawn in this chamber, and then he drops down just a little bit, and as soon as he touches the field, he gets teleported to the other chamber, where he immediately starts getting killed. So he's being killed right now. This glass, obviously, there's a muffler down there that keeps the noise from happening, and this glass keeps anything from being able to get out. And this is a little absorption hopper, and the absorption hopper will, when this guy dies, sorry about that. When this guy dies, the importer will bring the nether star. See if we can beat it. 30. We have 30 of them. And then when he dies, we'll have 31 of them. See, he's dead. 31. Boom. Cool, right? So I did that because I couldn't figure out a clever way to kill them and spawn them. When I tried to spawn more than one of them in the same chamber, they kept blowing up the soul sand or whatever. So, anyways, longer story shorter, I can just click this button if I need another nether star. Click this button. He drops over. Bob's your uncle. Fanny's your aunt. Cool. So he's gone. That one is kind of cool. Let's go back up to the top basement for a second. That is a wither, an actual honest-to-goodness wither. He is in a different chamber altogether. This is all about automation, right? In the name of automation. So down here, another flex point bringing power. This is called a stasis chamber. So I should bring this guy's priority up. Let's make his priority 50. Not that it really matters. I can always spawn another one. Priority of 50 means that all things being equal, he will get a priority. I want to check the priority on this guy. What did I give him? Where are you? There you are. Priority 1,000. Okay, I thought I did that. I put that priority up really high, and that was so that there would never be a chance that that my control system would go down. Because if this guy runs out of power, the whole thing craps out. So what I did is I set that priority really high so that will never happen. But anyways, where were we? Nope. Wither in a cage. So we're using this stasis chamber to hold the wither right here. As soon as he spawned, that stasis chamber is basically just holding him still, so he cannot go anywhere. And the reason that is cool is this whole thing. This is a mess right here. Don't get me wrong. This whole thing is a mess. What he's actually doing is, pop down here. These are laser drills from Industrial Foregoing and a fluid laser base. So in the fluid laser base, if you use a purple laser lens, And then it's actually any depth. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. We needed ether gas. For one of the things we were doing, we needed ether gas. Ether gas says you use laser drill for fluids, and it can be any Y level, minus 64 to 256. It can be any biome, right? No biome whitelisted or blacklisted. However, it has to be over a wither. So how do you do that, right? How do you get them to stand still long enough to mine ether gas? Well, you put the wither in. Look, those zombies are in there. That's hilarious. They love the wither. They're his best friend. Anyways, put him over a stasis chamber, and then you get this laser drill with a purple laser lens. And now these guys are actually mining out ether gas. You got to mine it. It's weird. So we have what? That's 30 buckets. Yeah, 30 buckets of almost 30 buckets of ether gas. This stuff gets really, really slow. I could speed it up, but it turns out we needed very, very little. So I put it in a dissolution chamber, which is full, so it has 8 buckets in here. I had to make something with ether gas. I forget even what it was now. This guy's still working, but it's full up. Okay. What are you making again? You're making gravel right now, right? Yeah, 1.5 thousand. I did it to make sand. I did it to make, what are you called? Silicon. Just let it run. Just pick a thing and let it run for a little while. So right now, what it's doing is it's a material stonework factory, and it's got 2 stages. So first, to make cobblestone. Yes. What you're not seeing is, because I have it exporting, it's creating cobblestone, then it's going to gravel, and then it's exporting. And so that gravel is being stored in the system right over here. And that just keeps our refined storage from getting all gummed up with all kinds of stuff. So we have access to a lot of gravel, right? 1,504, you can see it ticking up now. So it's actually creating gravel real time. But it's not muddying up our actual refined storage disks. Cool. So we did that. I was testing out some automation of this dissolution chamber. I need to clean all this up. This is just a very, very messy, obviously very, very messy setup. But I was testing out some automation to make sure I could put a crafter on here and make tier 2 speed updates or add-ons. So it does work. I was able to do that no problem. And then this, what are you working on currently? Oh, nothing. So interestingly enough, I set this guy up so that he would, anytime, for another set of automation I'm doing, anytime I have sulfur or raw uranium, I want them to be ground up. I'm making or made a fission reactor, and I haven't yet turned it on, but what this guy is doing, this is an interface from refined storage, and you can set up what you want to be basically interfaced with. So I just put sulfur and raw uranium in this one, plus flint. Cool thing is I have a pulverizer here. All this pulverizer is doing, and I did all the automation augmentations I can, but all this guy is doing is anytime I get any sulfur or any raw uranium, and do I have any anywhere? I don't think I do. Oh yeah, I do. Cool. I'll show you. I'll show you by putting all this. I like to leave one in there so that it keeps its place. Cool. I didn't realize I had any left. Okay. So I'll pop over here. Pro tip, raw uranium goes here, right? But anything that would go into the drawer system at all, you can triple right click on the storage controller, and that should put it all away. Now, this guy, oh look, we got an apotheosis boss. Good luck, buddy. This guy will fire up. So what's saying is, oh, we have some of this stuff now. So since we have stuff, we're going to keep 8 at a time in this thing all the time. And it's already loaded back up. So now, anytime sulfur or raw uranium hits the system, it will automatically go through this pulverizer, and it will automatically get... Are you getting murdered? It will automatically get broken down into its dust. Now, I need to set up another one of these for uranium dust that will go through a, what is it called? Um, one of these guys, a redstone furnace or an induction smelter, something. I need basically to say, okay, I have another interface and it's going to dump directly into a redstone furnace and cook anything that I'm for sure that I want to cook. Now, I got another setup to do ores, so that'll be specifically, but like raw uranium. So we just plan on processing a lot of this. So it was sort of fun to go through the automation. Now, yeah, he's having a bad day. I made a lot of golems. Oh, he killed one. What the heck? Oh, what are you, Fred? What are you? I want to own Fred. Hold, please. He killed a golem. They ride that thing. Are they on there again? I'll go look at it. I'm going to capture this guy, though. Yo, Fred. Fredley. Fred. Oop, yep. You're hitting hard. Got him. Cool. Let's take a nap. I don't know what Fred was. Maybe they'll tell me. Fred was fast, though. Fred is a... Contains Fred. Really? That's crazy. Okay, well, let's see if we can't contain Fred. I got plenty of source. This thing is still going. Turn this guy on just so I don't capture anything dumb. Okay, what do I need? A containment jar? Do I have any of those? Yeah, I do. What do you contain? Why aren't you stacking? That's weird. Okay, put you down. Now, if I stand by him, he should try to stay right here. Got him. Okay, contains one Fred. Well, I don't know what you were, but I own you now. And I will put you over here by these chuckleheads. Okay. I think I'm going to move you because I don't know if the second level works, but Fred lives here now. And you live there. Cool. All right. Well, you got to see that. Now we own a Fred. That was fun. Those guys, those bosses are mean and nasty, but sometimes they're fun to capture. So this, my friends, was really a very, very fun undertaking. What I had before was just a mess. The crafters were a mess. Everything was kind of messy. So I've just tried to ramp everything up to 11. All the thermal stuff, as an example, fully augmented. So it's all running at top speed, proper configurations, blah, blah, blah. So you look at the configurations on this, it's going to have input on the top and output in the back. And then many of these have a sneaky configuration. And the reason there's a sneaky configuration is we have another interface. And this interface is saying we can add in a couple of cool bits and bobs. And the reason we need this cool stuff is I have specific mechanism machines. So in this infusing factory, it needs to infuse with redstone. So I want redstone to be in here all the time. So I'm using the interface, just like we did at that machine over the way, the pulverizer. We want to make sure that we're keeping redstone in all the time. So how we do that is through some simple or relatively simple laser IO interaction. So that way is to the east. So as you can see, on the east, we have an energy card because we got this guy providing energy, the flux point, and this particular node is taking the energy, and then it's passing. You can see there's 3 lines. It's really hard to see because, yeah, get out of here, Roof. Nobody likes you. Cool. I'm trying to show these people something. So you can see 3 lines. So yellow one's energy, and then we have 2, and to the east, we're doing an extract, and the extract is basically just saying, hey, anything that's in there, extract. So the reason we did in the top and out the back is The crafter is actually putting stuff in the top, right? That makes sense. So our configs input top dark red, cool. Output back blue, okay, cool. And then we have an extra, which is yellow and the bottom. So when we look back at this guy, the extra is this guy. So you can do that a couple of ways, but through laser IO, one of the ways you can do it is if we did an insert card, right? And we did a card overclocker so that we could go a little bit faster than normal. Turns out we don't have to go very much faster, but we just need to go a little bit faster. And if we need to speed that up again, we can. And then what we did is this is called stocking mode with a counting filter. So this is also saying I want to stock 32 of these at a time. Now don't get it wrong. This 32 is the same number, but it's uh, not the same process. Here, I had to set 32. Yep. And then it's pulling from the system and saying, okay, you wanted 32. Here's your 32. And if I took this out, if I took 16 of them out, right? You see it went right back to 32. It just happened so quickly. The system is basically saying, we got you, fam. You wanted 32 in here at all times. We're going to keep it that way. We wanted 8 osmium. We want 6 or 8 enriched diamonds, so on and so forth. I also use charcoal because we basically, through the tree farm, have infinite charcoal, which I need to go probably update that, but that's okay. It's basically infinite charcoal because we're going to burn through charcoal so slowly that 2,000 is enough. Enriched obsidian and then flint. So we're keeping 32 at all times. So back to the laser IO to the east. The way we manage that, because everything is going in through the back, right? The laser IO is cool because we can use sneaky mode. So we're doing a stocking card. We're keeping 32 redstone in the machine at all times. And then we're saying sneaky from the down. So remember when we said configuration, right? The second one or the extra one is yellow, and we want that in the bottom. Now we could have made that anyway, and we could fix it if we wanted to, but so the extra yellow is through the bottom, and that's this guy. And so laser IO with sneaky mode, sneaky is right here. So we have stocking, counting filter, and then this button here is for sneaky mode. And when it's on sneaky on the down, it's basically saying, I'm going to pretend like I'm this bottom signal. Cool. And so that gives us a way to keep redstone. This thing fills up, and as soon as any is used, it puts more in. Um, and that is the same. So for the infusing, compressing, basically all along here, this is osmium. We're doing the same thing. This is an osmium compressor, but it's just the first tier upgrade of the osmium compressor. And again, exactly the same. Input on the top, output in the back, extra, sneaky. Same with laser IO. We did the exact same thing. It's just basically the same setup all the way along. This one we're keeping osmium. This one we're keeping enriched diamonds. This one we're keeping charcoal. This one we're keeping enriched obsidian. And I split all these out because they may not make much, right? But I had these machines set up to make everything they make. So any recipe that needs enriched obsidian, done. It's in here. Anyone that needs charcoal, done. It's in here. Anyone that needs to be infused with diamond, blah blah blah. Right? They're all here, which is awesome. And then we just carry this on along, where we did a top input, and then bottom input, and then back output. Right? And the reason we still needed a second here is because of the flint. Remember, we're keeping flint in stock 64 at a time. This machine needs flint. This machine needs flint. And then one more machine over there needs flint. And that's just so you can boost what you get out of the pulverizer. So again, same configuration, basically. The laser IO is basically the same. To the east, everything about it is the same because there's a special. If there isn't a special, then you don't have to worry about it. That's what you're seeing here. Why there's only 2 lasers instead of 3 lasers. On the redstone furnace, there's no special, right? There's nothing extra to be input into the redstone furnace to make it more awesome. And then each of these guys is daisy chained along. So this one's connected to this one, and then this one is connected to this one, and then this one is connected to this one. And I did them all in a daisy chain. Enriching factory, again basic. So there's nothing extra. So we should only have 2 lasers. Boom. Yellow one of obvious is energy. So we have all these machines. This one's kind of fun. Fluid encapsulator. I did this guy so that we could make buckets. If you want to make a bucket of water, right? Some recipes need a bucket of water. So if I want to make a bucket of water, get out of here, buckets of water. I can craft a bucket of water. And just to prove that I can do it, we're going to do it. It's going to happen too fast. Yeah, it already happened. It's so fast. It's like almost impossible to see or hear. But basically, because it can create buckets ad hoc, and it can encapsulate water at such a blinding rate of speed. So what it does is it creates a bucket, jams it in here, which makes a bucket of water, and then spits it back out of the system. Again, when we say automation overload, whenever I saw a machine getting too crammed up, I just make another one. I don't want these things to be making more than one. And this is probably very wasteful, but for the sake of speed, I only want the crafters to be 1 high. So when I run out of recipes, as an example, in the pulverizer, as soon as I run out of recipes in all 3 of them, I'll just make a 4th one and jam it on here, right? These machines are designed to be standalone. We're going to be processing, and then we already did all of the uranium again. So we are completely out of uranium once again, which is awesome. But I want these machines to be standalone. I want these machines to all be running off of this interface as much as needed. And these are some very specific automations to make the life around here so much easier. Sulfur and uranium is simply because we're making a fission reactor. Ender chests. I did an episode. I have some real derps sometimes, although I don't blame this one on myself. I did an episode before where I was trying to figure out how to interact with ender chests. Well, it's weird, right? Let me show you why. There are 2. In fact, I only found it by typing in chest. This is how dumb it is. There are 2 ender chests. Now, I don't know where, there may be even more of them, by the way, just so you're aware. When I say 2, it could be like more than 2. But okay, look, white ender chest from Ender Storage, and then a traditional ender chest from Minecraft. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you make this thing, it's a dumpster fire. It's a dumpster fire for a couple of reasons. One, if you don't have a Silk Touch item, like a Silk Touch Paxel, for example, when you break it, you get the obsidian back, but you don't get the Eye of Ender, which is stupid. However, if you make this guy, which is infinitely cooler, then you can address its color scheme. So this one's called white. You can make those 3 colors any of the 16 Minecraft colors in combination. So that's 16, right? 3 permutations. And so in this one, just because I have a ton of green wool, I have green. And then green, there's a mate somewhere. I don't actually know where it is at the moment. And green means anything where the mate is will go into the importer to be imported into the system. So this is a great way to transmit things over time and space. Truth is, I can stick one of these in a pack somewhere in my backpack, and I can take it with me. And then if I need to fill up a bunch of stuff, I can stop and be good to go. How much? This thing is it produces source at such an obscene rate. Right? These were all empty, and it's going to fill them all up. As soon as it gets done, I'll shut that thing down. Just producing all this. I actually had it shut down, and I didn't really care because I have so much of this stuff that it doesn't really matter anymore. Right? We're getting past. We're like over 1,000, 1035 in gas tiers. Probably won't use 50 more gas tiers in the whole playthrough, and we're all the way there. Nether Stars automation is one thing I haven't done yet, and I just need to work on that. So what do I still have left to automate? To be honest, the Material Stonework Factory, I want to do a little bit more with it. Maybe that's why I needed the ether. Was that why I needed ether? What did I make? that needed ether. Where are you? Here you are. Is it the advanced machine frame? No, I made one machine that needed like a superior. What are you? Industrial foregoing. At industrial. What did I make? I made some. Oh, it was the Wither Builder, right? Was it the Wither Builder? Was it the Wither Builder? Yes, Supreme Machine Frame. Okay, so to make this guy, I had to use netherite ingots, I had to use diamonds, and I had to use ether. And there really is only one way to get ether. So I literally had to come up here into this place, down here in this cage. I made this cage. Like I said, I dropped in here first, made this cage just a little bit smaller, built the wither, right over the stasis chamber, which I had already set up, or the stasis block, got him stuck. And then I built the rest of this contraption around him so that we could mine ether. But it was like literally the only thing I found so far that I needed ether for. In fact, I guess I could do that, right? What did I need? What do you need ether for? What does it even do? Dissolution chamber. Yeah, there's there are 3 recipes. Wait, is that just yes? Mycelial reactor, which I'm not really sure what it does, but I'll look it up. A supreme machine frame, which I've made, and an infinity nuke. What the heck is that? Infinity nuke. That sounds fun. Maybe I'll make one of those just to see what it does. Add-on range tier 12. I bet that's insane. Huh. Okay. I don't know what that does. Block heat properties. Ether. Is ether good? Fluid encapsulator. Make its bucket of ether. What do you do with a bucket of ether? Nothing. You literally you can't do anything with a bucket of ether. Supreme machine frames. What does this thing do? Mycelial reactor. Well, but what does it do? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Anyways, I need ether. Then this was a sort of fun consequence of this whole deal because now that guy's just chill banging right there, and it's really cool. He's just sort of a fun backdrop. He just hangs out there and doesn't do a whole lot else. Mob farm. You can see we're really starting to take up a bunch of real estate. I mentioned it before. This guy has not completely. I need to. Nope, my battery's okay. Not completely run its course, but I got a much better solution coming online very soon, and that's what this thing is for. So if you've never seen one of these, the whole point of this whole setup is to create fissile fuel. So fissile fuel is interesting for a fission reactor. And basically the way you can think about it is, here's the star of the show. This is the chemical infuser that's basically taking uranium oxide from one side and hydrofluoric acid from the other side, and it's combining them, infusing them into uranium hexafluoride. So uranium hexafluoride is interesting because you can send that through an isotropic centrifuge. And the isotropic centrifuge takes uranium hexafluoride, and it turns it into fissile fuel. Fissile fuel is awesome because it will then be used in a fission reactor to create energy. So this is a very large chain of events, right? Starts on one side with the chemical oxidizer that's taking sulfur dust. We're going to run through this really fast. Sulfur dust and turning it into sulfur dioxide, who is taking sulfur dioxide and mixing it with oxygen to make sulfur trioxide. That makes sense. Dioxide's 2 oxygens. 1 oxygen means trioxide, 3 oxygens, right? Cool. Where do we get the 3rd oxygen? Well, from the back, we're taking water from a sink and we're jamming it into an electrolytic separator. So we're taking the water and we're separating out oxygen. I think we're also making hydrogen, but we're dumping the hydrogen because We don't really care about the hydrogen, and we don't want this thing to backstuff hydrogen. We're really only interested in producing oxygen. But in a situation where you need both hydrogen and oxygen, or hydrogen or oxygen, because you can dump either, you can use an electrolytic separator to do that. So water to separator to oxygen, right? We've got a bunch of oxygen mixing with sulfur dioxide, making sulfur trioxide. Then we're taking sulfur trioxide and we're mixing in that, infusing it, I should say, with water vapor, and we're creating sulfuric acid. So this guy is a rotary condensator, and it's taking the water and it's turning it into water vapor, jamming full of this guy. This was fun to find out. This thing kept running for ages after this whole machine backstuffed, because these ultimate pressurized tubes, that holds 1024, 1,024 millibuckets of water vapor, which, by the way, is a lot. Just saying. Same here. Couldn't figure out why the power kept going. These ultimate universal cables, the amount of cable that I have under here is holding 36.04 million RF or FE. So this thing took a long time to back stuff. The power cable took a long time to back stuff. But anyways, as we were. So rotary condensator is taking water, converting it into water vapor. The water vapor is being infused with the sulfur trioxide to make sulfuric acid. If you're a chemistry major, by the way, I'm sure you're going bananas. I'm a controls and mechanical engineering guy, and so the engineering and controls are more interesting. The chemistry that's happening here is not interesting at all, except for it's cool that it all works together. So we finished with sulfuric acid there. Then we take sulfuric acid and we mix it with fluorite, and we end up with hydrofluoric acid. So we have sulfuric acid, fluorite, hydrofluoric acid. So from here over, this is one half. We have exporters bringing us sulfur dust. We have exporters bringing us fluorite, and we have exporters bringing us uranium ingots. So again, we finished with hydrofluoric acid. We start back over at this chain. We're taking the uranium ingots and we're turning it into yellow cake uranium. Next up, we're taking the yellow cake uranium and a chemical oxidizer, and we're making uranium oxide. And then we're taking the uranium oxide and the hydrofluoric acid from next door, and we're doing that uranium hexafluoride. And then, like we said, we take uranium hexafluoride through isotropic centrifuge, and we turn that into fissile fuel. This yellow and this bar here just indicates that something is wrong. And the something wrong in this case is that we're backstuffed. So since we're full up, let's grab. Did I not get any? It's fine. Since we're full up on power and we're full up on pressure, and if we come back here, we are also full up on fissile fuel, right? That's 100% full. Next, what we would do is we would start sending this stuff over to, hey, cool room. We're going to use a quantum entangleopers to start moving the fissile fuel. So where are we going, you ask? That's a good question. I will take you over there and show it to you now. I don't know if I put it far enough away, to be perfectly honest. If it blows up, I think we're still going to have a problem. But, oh, that's why. Huh, how funny. I was going to think about building that whole setup over here. How hilarious. Anyways, don't need to do that now. Energy waste, just in case. We're already set up to start running. The only thing we haven't done, back here we did water. This thing should be able to keep up with water. What we did is that's to the north. So we did fluid cards. Wait. Aren't you to the north? Did I only do one? Oh, you had to do them all down. The down was the problem. So I did node overclockers and 3 fluid cards absolutely maxed out. So I think we're gonna have enough water, but I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that because I think that's enough. These are all 3 um, completely maxed out. So I need to just keep it on it when the time comes. Um, we have a control mechanism. This circuit up here is basically just a control for us to be able to use. Um, to make sure that if I want to turn the reactor on, I can turn it on. This guy is basically saying if it gets too hot, it will turn off. And when it turns off, I won't be able to turn it back on. It's basically an override. So when it cools back down, I'll be able to turn it back on. This is just a control circuit. Right now, what you're going to see is we don't have any fuel in our fuel tank, and that's going to be the next thing that I work on, but that is not going to be for today. So this is a very, very, very standard fission reactor. Very standard turbine, and what this guy will do is he will use fissile fuel to generate steam, and then this dude will use the steam with these turbines to generate power. And the way this thing is set up, it should generate a fair amount of power. It actually should. I don't even know what its top end is. Can I see that? Stats. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Max burn rate is 52 millibuckets. Doesn't it tell me? No, I thought it would. I thought it would tell me. Fuel surface area. No. Maybe this guy will? Yes. Okay. So it has, there we go. It has a maximum production of 1.17 million FE per tick. That creates a massive amount of water on the output, so we have to deal with that. And that's just a massive amount of power. Uh, that's if I was running it at full tilt. I will pretty much never run it at full tilt. I'm going to be always watching our needs of the base. Because right now, when I start running all my machines at once, right, it really chokes out on power. If I have many machines, and especially this unit down here, when this unit down here is running, it just absolutely throttles our power. Oh, and there's one more thing. The other machine that really crushes us is, where did I put that stupid thing? It's up here. Yes, digital miner. So I made one of these. If you're not familiar with the digital miner, they are awesome. This thing allows us to basically say you want to mine stuff. I don't remember what I have it mining, but if I cut it on, see it's mining redstone. It's mining, I don't know what all this guy is after. Let's see if it picks up something else. Okay, cool. Redstone. Lots and lots of redstone, which we needed redstone, so that's a good thing. I don't know if I needed that much redstone, but that's the cool part about digital miner is I'm not down in a hole mining stuff anymore. And if you're wondering to yourself, um, man, wouldn't it be cool if you could use this to, is that really all we're doing? We're just getting redstone? Are we not? We're literally not getting anything else? I was just hoping one other thing would show up. Anything else? Anything else? Come on. Anything else? No? Nope, we're just doing all redstone all the time. Oh, there we go. Uranium, diamonds, yellowite, uranium, diamonds, yellowite. Okay, cool. That's what I was going to say. Okay, we'll stop it for now. Wouldn't it be cool if you could pick certain tags, certain filters? Yes. So you can absolutely pick different tags and filters. That's actually why I had on this thing called advanced tooltips. Because if I'm not sure what something's called, let's pretend I wanted to do diamonds. and I want to look at one of these ores, and I hit hold control. I can't move my mouse because it'll go away. But if you look down, just like two, you can see where the white letters are down at the bottom, Minecraft, and up and some white letters, and it goes to the dark gray letters. Really, what you're looking for is the item tag. And in this particular case, like for diamonds, it's forge : ores / diamond. So basically, since you know what its item tag is, and there's a couple different ways you can do it, but if you know what its item tag is, you can go into the config, you can click a new filter. You can see I already have it here, but you can click on new filter, and you can say, well, let's just add it. We'll just delete this one, and then we'll just add a new filter. And we'll say, okay, what's its tag? Its tag is forge ores / diamond. Then you click save. If you did it right, it will actually show up as a tag filter, and it will go ahead and show up. What are you again? Fluorite. Yes, I want you to do that. Redstone's not even checked, so I'm not sure why it's even digging up redstone. Some of these tags are a little weird. There's different ways to do it, and the some of the other ways to tag what you're looking for is probably better. But at any rate, then you can cut this thing on, and it says, hey, I got 615 blocks. It's counting down now of all the things that we can find. Yellowite, sulfur, redstone, fluorite, diamonds, blah, blah, blah. So it's mining all of this stuff, and it's jamming it in this inner chest, and the inner chest is bringing it directly into our refined storage system. Hello there. Bring it directly into our refined storage system straight away. Now, where I was going with this is, this guy is using, let's see, how much is he using? Yeah, so it's using 14 to 15,000, almost 16,000 RF per tick, depending. So what that does is it absolutely wrecks our power. Eventually, you're going to see this drop. It'll still try to run, but what it's doing right now is, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to run back home, and I'm going to head downstairs, and we'll show you that it's putting a hurt hammer on this thing. Now, that's not too bad. Basically, we have 102 million RF stored up. But as you can imagine, with that thing running and with these machines running, because this guy's only producing like, what is it? I have it maxed out right now. Basically 3,600 RF per tick. But that digital miner is using almost 16,000 RF per tick. So that's a lot more. We're producing 3,600. We're using 16,000. No chance. And then when these guys are running, they use this whole setup uses about 3,000 RF per tick, which we're going to have now that we have the fission reactor, and we can make a pretty much ridiculous amount of power. So we got to balance it out, right? We're going to be producing fissile fuel, and we have to make sure that the way we're burning it makes sense. We're burning the fissile fuel, but we're also creating enough that we're staying balanced and in harmony, so that the fission reactor, because we're sort of making all this stuff to feed the beast, right? I got to make sure that I have plenty of sulfur, plenty of fluorite, and plenty of uranium. So I'm going to constantly be moving the digital miner around to keep those resources stacked up. Because once we run out of that, then we're out of fissile fuel, and then we're back to a pretty sad face power situation. But this thing is really keeping up, because you'll notice we don't have any sulfur, we don't have any uranium or anything else. So all the stuff we're crunching has been crunched again. So it's all gone. Cool. And then with the fluorite, we're stacking it up. And I don't know where we are on fluorite. We're at 5,700, which is good. 2,900, 2,800. So we should have plenty of resources for a while, but we will have to keep the digital miner moving. And to keep the digital miner moving, we got to keep generating massive amounts of power. But appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the automation overload. That's really what I've been interested in since the last episode. Really been working on just automating as much things as efficiently as possible. And then some things not super efficient at all, but it serves a purpose. This room, I got to clean up. I got to figure out what this is all supposed to be. It all served a very specific purpose at the time, and then that purpose is actually over. But you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let me check something real quick. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the series so far. And most importantly, the world is a crazy place. So when you're out there in it, be nice to each other. It doesn't take any additional time or effort just to be nice to the person next to you. So we'll see you in the next episode.